shadows are devoured by even darker shadows, the curtain pulls back and reveals a world without light!
Hey, what's going on YouTube? This is TR Bailey, and I'm coming at you guys with a new deck profile of a deck that I think is pretty good for the format. It didn't get, the Herald of Perfection version got the tops at the only top for this deck at YCS Toronto, but I don't necessarily think YCS Toronto is necessarily the results that we should be looking at just yet, because the format's still young, and we know that Toronto hasn't always had the consistent results of what we know is going to be some of the better decks. A lot of times they do get the number one best deck, which they did get the last couple of times, but a lot of times we see a lot of randomness happen at the event, so I'm not yet convinced that that's what the meta is going to look like. Our meta is pretty short. I don't think we're going to have another YCS during this ban list era, since we are having 3 or 4 months for a ban list, but I don't necessarily think that that's going to be what tops at San Mateo. I don't think we're going to see so many dragon plants unless it just has so many people playing it. But anyway, let's just get into this list, the agent deck list that I have for you. This is for the trap variant, I think the TG and the chaos variant are both very good as well. But I think this one is probably the best and most consistent version, in my eyes anyway. So, we play 3 Shine Ball. I know some people prefer 2. I like 3. I just like to have the opportunity, because if I draw 1, then I can't, go into my plays. So 3 it is for me. I don't mind drawing it that much. It's whatever. Usually I have really consistent hands with this deck. 1 Archlord Christia. I just don't like this card being drawn too often, because a lot of times it's not that great. I could understand people who decide to play 2 instead, but my preference is 1 on this particular card. Gores, because we all know what Gores is. Honest. 3 Hyperion, because this is probably the most versatile card in Yu-Gi-Oh! Right now. It's insane. 2700, miniature Dark Armed, easy to get into play. Not too much else you can ask for. 3 Venus. As you all know, this is a Venus engine kind of thing for the deck. I like Jupiter. It's an out to Ophion. It can be very helpful in key situations, and it gives another target for Earth as we play 3 copies of it. So having the Jupiter really helps not to make Earths dead, because that's very annoying. Then Thunder King, because Thunder King is insane this format, and I just don't see any reason why you shouldn't play it in decks that can allow it. 1 Herald of Orange Light, because hey, it's helpful. I don't want to play too many of them, because it is a -1, but it is very good against specific decks and certain matchups. You could side a second for certain matchups, or you can just find a way to play 2 if that's your preference. Gen X Ally Birdman. We all know the plays with Venus. You can make a play like Venus, get 3 Shine Balls, bounce a Shine Ball, special Gen X Ally Birdman. Now you have, let's say Shine Ball and Herald in your hand to stop a Gores, and in the meantime you overlay into Leviair and overlay into Daigusto Phoenix. Target Daigusto Phoenix to attack 2 times, or target Leviair to attack 2 times, and then Leviair back, let's say, I don't know, an Earth or something. Whatever's out of play at the time. If you're lucky enough, maybe an Honest. But yeah, that's kind of the idea behind that. And then I like 2 Maxi, the hand traps, because I think that because this version of the deck has usually somewhere between 5 and 6 cards in hand almost at all times, it's very, very helpful to have Maxi, because your opponent doesn't want to push through you already having 5 or 6 cards through Maxi, so it's very helpful. And also, if they take the Maxi challenge, you're more likely to draw Gores because of all the searching potential that this deck does have. Dark Hole, obvious. Lance is very good, especially with Hyperion. A lot of times you can do plays like Summon Venus, they'll respond, and then you're like, that's fine. I'll summon Hyperion, and then they'll respond to Hyperion, and you'll Lance, so you get 3 cards with 3. So you go 3 for 3 with them, but maybe you get the upper hand because you successfully put Hyperion into play, and a lot of times that's 3 back row down that you get. So always helpful to have Lance in this deck. Then 3 copies of Mystical Space Typhoon, because you should be playing 3. And then 3 Duality, because I really like Duality, and then 1 Cards from the Sky. I was playing 2 for a bit, and I liked it, but I'd rather play cards like Gen X Ally Birdman, for example, and a second Lance, so I decided to cut it. And also I added Call at last minute as well. But I really like the idea of going, Earth, Duality, and then cards, or Earth, cards, Duality, because a lot of times if you have one of these, you don't need a second, and that goes for the same with Venus. So a lot of times it sets you up for very, very good plays, and I definitely don't have any complaints about this combo here. Those 3 cards is kind of like in Black Wings back in the day when you would go Sirocco, Whirlwind, Duality, Allure cards. Kind of the same thing, except you don't have to play Whirlwind, you just have a Stratos, so it's very helpful. And then the 4 limited traps, which is very obvious for the format. 2 Forbidden, 2 Phoenix Chain, which you definitely should be playing, and 2 Mirror Force, and then Call of the Haunted. It's pretty decent in this deck. You can certainly cut it if you want. I'm going to test it out. I may cut it myself. So yeah, that's what's going on with that. Then the extra deck, 1 ally of Justice Catastor, fairly self-explanatory. Wyvern sets up your OTK plays. You have light tuners in your deck, obviously, with Earth and Herald, so why not? You have Armides, Keeper of Boundaries. You can easily make the card. It's a good play. Anything that can swing through without your opponent being able to activate cards is certainly helpful. Finishes games off, things like that. Armory Arm, since you can make it, you should play. Armory Arm's very good. Black Rose Dragon. Black Rose Dragon is insane, and we all know that. 1 Gaia Knight, just because we can make level 6s. I don't think it's that great, but it does get over certain things, and that's why I chose to play the Gaia Knight over, let's say, like an Orient Dragon, which is definitely a player preference there if you'd rather do that. Also, I don't play Stardust in this list, so if you just don't think you'll ever make a level 6, then you can just cut it for a Stardust Dragon, because that's helpful with Daigusto Phoenix, for example. Scrap Dragon, because he's Scrap Dragon, sure, why not? We'll blow up a Shine Ball to target anything. I'm down with that. Angel of Zerath. This card's insane, okay? So we read Hyperion. He can remove a light fairy monster from the graveyard to destroy a card. Light fairy monster. If this card's removed during the next standby phase, you can special summon this card. Yeah. So, I feel like this was just an automatic. Once I read this card when it came out, I was like, yeah, that's insane in Agents. So you have Daigusto Phoenix. Self-explanatory. You have Shine Balls. Gotchi, we know the Venus Gotchi play. Standard, it's been around for 4 or 5 formats now. Dark Mist still, helps you get around certain things. You don't have to play this card. Levier makes OTKs. Leviathan, just to, helpful with, when you need a beat stick. Tempo, the Percussion Djinn. We all know it really helps in those matchups where they make a lot of Xyz plays. And I think that mech-equipped Engineer is superior to Zen mains, in my opinion. And it's a light fairy as well. That's why I think that this card's an automatic in this deck as well. When you make your rank 3 plays, you want to have a good variety of options, and I feel like these 4 definitely put it in there for solid options. Well, I want to thank you guys for watching, and I'm sorry I hadn't put up a video in a while. Please let me know what you guys want to see. I want to start, a few new segments. I have a few ideas going, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. You guys have a wonderful day.